Hey friends, Ash here. Hope that you're doing well. Today I've got for you guys a little big This Week in Fragrance. Little because there's only 3 fragrances to talk about. Big because there are some big releases. Little, big. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over with you guys 3 upcoming new fragrance releases that you have to look forward to, including a new Dior done by Francis Kurkdjian, a new Lattafa, and a new Burberry. And actually the new Dior, I did a This Week in Fragrance rumors video where I was talking about rumored fragrances that were coming out, or rumored to be coming out, and one of those was the new Dior that we're gonna talk about here today. So I shot that video having no clue when or if it was going to come out. I was assuming pretty soon. Apparently the correct answer was it's gonna be coming out in like 2 days, or being announced in a couple days. So yay, great timing, I guess. You can find more information on these fragrances on iFragrance Official's website, which I'll have linked in the description. Feel free to go there, read more about these scents. And I guess we'll start off by talking about the new Burberry, because then there's gonna be a lot more to dig into after that. So this is the new Hero, Burberry Hero Parfum Intense, because I guess, why not? So now they have Hero Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Parfum Intense. But why not Elixir? Are you saving that for next year, I guess, or the year after? I don't know. Obviously comes in that same Burberry Hero bottle design. I'm not a massive fan of the color scheme, at least based off of just the picture here. It's kind of like an olivey drab brown with black lettering. We'll see, maybe it looks better in person. Ultimately, that doesn't matter whatsoever as long as the fragrance is good. And let's go ahead and read about that fragrance. Burberry Hero Parfum Intense is the newest member in the Hero family. The campaign features Adam Driver continuing on his personal quest to ride horses shirtless at the beach, or something like that, I don't know. The power and seduction of Hero is highlighted with a new powerful scent, underlined by adding an intense leather note. Powerful and rich, the scent is driven by a trio of cedarwood oils. Starting with the top note of black pepper, which invigorates the senses, while a rich leather note at the base heightens the scent's strength. It comes harbored in an intense shade of brown. Its sleek edges best represents the house's craftsmanship. I talk about this from time to time and kind of point it out, but I do so love how in these write-ups from the brands, they really just will hype up anything. The sleek edges of the bottle will highlight the brand's craftsmanship. Like, what? Okay. It just do this and that. It do this and then that. The bottle, this, that. The sleek edges of the bottle represent. What are you talking about? But yeah, the note breakdown, we are getting that dumbed down note breakdown here. Cedar, 3 types, leather, black pepper. So for me, if I were rating out the first 3 Hero fragrances as of today, I would say my favorite is the Eau de Parfum. So I would put that as the top one. And then I would say probably the Eau de Toilette would be my number 2, because it is a little easier to wear in more situations than the Parfum. And I know a lot of people will kind of hate on the original Burberry Hero, but I think for like just a day-to-day versatile wood-forward fragrance, it's pretty good. The Eau de Parfum is the best though. And looking at the note breakdown of this new one, it's very simplified, but there was black pepper in the original Eau de Toilette. Of course, there's cedar in all of the different Burberry Hero fragrances. So the only note that stands out there is obviously the leather. Not a whole heck of a lot to go on here, but hopefully it is an improvement, at least for my own taste, versus the Parfum edition. And you never know. This could be something that hits really, really well, or it could be something that's kind of forgettable, so we'll see. Next, let's talk about the Lattafa. It's a new Asad, and then we'll dive into the Dior Homme. Yes, a new Dior Homme. So the new Asad is called Asad Bourbon. And I am really intrigued to see how this one goes, because the original Asad is a clone, of course, of Dior Sauvage Elixir, and it's a really, really popular one, and also very affordable, great bang for your buck. Then they came out with Asad Zanzibar, which did not take off anywhere near as much as the original Asad did. People were expecting Asad Zanzibar to be like Le Beau Le Parfum, something like that, and instead it was kind of its own thing, and for a lot of people, they didn't like it a whole lot. Some people did, to be fair, but you know. So now we have this new one, Asad Bourbon. Let's read about it. Discover Lattafa Asad Bourbon Eau de Parfum, an embodiment of sophistication and strength. This scent begins with a sensual blend of warm spices and woody bourbon notes, culminating in a lavish, elegant scent trail. The heart unveils seductive notes of leather and amber, while the base eventuates with rich vanilla and intense patchouli. I am pretty sure that is the first time I have ever seen that word used in a fragrance write-up. Eventuates, which is to say, I'm not even sure that that word is used correctly there. Maybe it is. It feels like it's not. The new men's cologne is carefully crafted for men who want to leave their mark and highlight their unique style. So this one has spices and woody bourbon in the top, leather and amber in the mid, and patchouli and vanilla in the base. So the question here is, what will this be a clone of or be similar to? I know when it comes to Lattafa, some people don't like it when you automatically say, well, what's it gonna be a clone of? Because they do have some fragrances that do their own thing and really are their own thing. But I would assume that it is going to be inspired by something else or similar to something else out there. I guess there's a possibility that it's an ALTHAIR type fragrance, Parfums de Marly ALTHAIR. Not that the note breakdown is necessarily super similar to that, but that is a very popular fragrance scent profile right now. That would be the first thing that pops up into my mind, but I wouldn't, you know, bet on that necessarily and say that that's what it's gonna be. It could be obviously a number of different things. Either way, there is a new Asad coming out very soon, and we'll see just how good it is, what it smells similar to, and if it does smell similar to something, how good of a job they do. Let me know in the comments what you think that it could be an alternative to, and if you're from the future, that's cheating. You don't get to put it in the comments after the fact. Everybody knows what it is in hindsight. All right. The new Dior Homme Parfum 2025. Now, when I did the video on this, the rumors video, at the time, it was just that, a rumor. And I wasn't for sure if this was going to be like a new fragrance in the sense of like a new formulation of Dior Homme Parfum, if it was going to be just the original Dior Homme Parfum put into a new bottle, or what the deal is. And now we know it's a new fragrance. Now, just to get this out of the way right off the top, that does mean something. If you really like Dior Homme Parfum as it stands today, the original version of Dior Homme Parfum, you probably want to scoop up an extra bottle of that. I know it's expensive, and especially in North America, it's not the easiest to find, but it looks like it's changing. So if Dior Homme Parfum is your thing, and I know for a lot of you, it absolutely is, it looks like that's going away. So let's go over all the information that I have on this. It's a decent amount, so some different things to talk about here. Now, the write-up from the brand. Dior Homme Parfum is the latest creation of Francis Kurkdjian, perfume creative director, Parfums Dior. The new men's fragrance celebrates the whole iris flower, from flower to roots, harnessing a balance between power and delicacy. The blend is centered around an iris note and highlighted by strong accords of ambery woods. I know there's some people out there that really love the original Dior Homme Parfum who are gonna read that and be like, oh no! It is a seductive fragrance that possesses the distinct allure of the Dior Homme fragrance collection. Through an ombre effect of seductive black, the flacon unveils a fragrance with warm, ambery undertones. With its sleek, sophisticated details, it features the silver-plated metal plaque that distinguishes the collection. So looking at the note breakdown here, it has iris in the top, amber accord in the mid, vetiver, patchouli in the base. Now in comparison, Dior Homme Parfum, the original, had iris, also had orange, leather, rose, sandalwood, ambrette, oud, and cedar. So you can see there that the note breakdown is quite different between the two. At least that's the note breakdown that Fragrantica has for Dior Homme Parfum. Now a little extra info. This is also on the new iteration of Dior Homme Parfum. According to Dior, Francis Kurkdjian's inspiration is as follows. I pushed the logic of this dialogue between fragility and strength to the extreme. This is a Dior Homme that lies between the gentle caress of powdery softness and the firm grip of an ambery base. The fragrance is a modern and elegant masculine signature, recognizable amongst all, sensual and addictive, a woody amber iris between strength and tenderness. And that's something they're really pushing with this whole idea of tender masculinity, right? So they mention in the write-up, they mention here, Francis Kurkdjian himself mentions it, this idea of a soft fragrance, a powdery fragrance, but then a strong ambery base. I do think the bottle actually looks pretty sick. Like, that's pretty cool looking. The fragrance itself, the olfactive story of the fragrance is that there's iris on the one side, powerful, sensual, powdery, tender, and luminous. And on the other side, amber accord with patchouli and vetiver, which they say is rich, warm, seductive, and addictive. It almost turned into a Zara fragrance right there. Rich, warm, addictive? Huh? We've come full circle. Zara is now Dior, Dior is now Zara. Anybody that remembers, you remember Rich, Warm, Addicted? Some of you do. Then they also lay out the Dior Homme line as it stands today with the cologne on one side, the fresh and luminous cologne, and on the far other side, the new parfum, which they say is suave and addictive with a woody amber iris. I do like in this little chart how it shows that Dior Homme Intense is not sold in North American department stores. There's like a little asterisk, which kind of sucks because I really like Dior Homme Intense, but what do I know? So in 2024, Francis Kurkdjian put out the new Sauvage, his take on Sauvage, which I was not a massive fan of. I know some people out there like it, and if you do, more power to you. I got no problems with people enjoying whatever they enjoy, but for that one, you know, for me, for the price point, I wasn't a big fan. And now he is stepping into Dior Homme with a new version of one of their most hyped releases in that line, at least within the fragrance community. And Dior Homme Parfum, the original, that is a strong fragrance. The OG Dior Homme Parfum lasts a long time and it projects pretty well. It is a bit of a beast. So I'm intrigued what they're gonna do here, because on the one side, I feel like it's gotta have some pop, right? It's gotta be strong. It's gotta have some lasting power. And I'm assuming it will. But to read, you know, 5-6 times about tenderness, softness, and seductiveness makes me feel like, that maybe isn't gonna be super strong. Ultimately, that doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot if the fragrance is really, really good. And I know that some people are gonna read this, the concentration on amber woods, you know, ambery, vetiver, and patchouli, and they're gonna roll their eyes and be like, oh dude, like we already have enough amberwood stuff out there at this point. And I could kind of, you know, get behind that and be like, yeah, maybe Dior Homme Parfum isn't where I wanna get my amberwood overdose, but at the same time, if it smells good, it smells good. And I don't care about anything else. So this is one that I am really anticipating to an extreme amount, and I am very hopeful that it's going to be darn good. And I will say, at least, you know, they're not abandoning the iris completely, right? Because with Dior Homme 2020, Dior Homme Sport, the iris, it went out of here. And then Dior Homme Intense, yeah, that's got iris, but guess what? Like I said before, they don't sell it in North America. You can't go into your local Macy's and pick up Dior Homme Intense, but this new Dior Homme Parfum, you can. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like they're gonna be selling this all across the US, which means that for us in North America, we can actually pick up a Dior Homme fragrance that still features iris. So that's nice, I appreciate that. Ultimately, it's just gonna be, how good is it? I know, what a great breakdown, but it's looking like a bit of a drastic change from what Dior Homme Parfum was. Regardless of any of this, the second I see this pop up, whether it's a store in Europe or it's Macy's or it's Dillard's or wherever, I'm buying it. And I am so hopeful that this is going to be a big turnaround from what the last Sauvage was. And then I will be singing Francis Kirkshawn's praises. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. So there we go, guys. A new Lattafa Asad, a new Dior Homme, and a new Burberry Hero. Let me know what you're most excited for. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.